Hello students, today we are going to discuss about one of the business management function, directing chapter. Let's begin our topic. Directing is said to be a process in which the managers instruct, guide and oversee the performance of the workers to achieve predetermined goals. Directing is said to be the heart of management process. In simple words, it can be described as providing guidance to workers in doing work. In field of management, direction is said to be all those activities which are designed to encourage the subordinate to work effectively and efficiently. Definition: directing consists of process or technique by which instruction can be issued and operations can be carried out as originally planned. Characteristics or its features. The various characteristics of directing associated with it's a continuous activity, it is pervasive function, it is an executive function, it delegates functions to other people, it creative activity of the enterprise, and it is a human related functions. The various importance of directing are: it initiates action. Direction is the function which is the starting point of the work performance of subordinate. It is from this function the action takes place. Subordinates understand their job and do according to the instructions laid. Whatever are plan laid can be implemented only once the actual work starts. It is there that direction becomes beneficial. It integrates efforts. Though direction, the superiors are able to guide, inspire and instruct the subordinate to work. For this, effort of every individual towards accomplishment of goals are required. It is through direction the efforts of every department can be related and integrated with others. This can be done through persuasive leadership and effective communication. Integration of effort brings effectiveness and stability in a concern. Meanings of motivation. Direction function helps in achievement of goals. A manager makes use of the element of motivation here to improve the performance of subordinate. This can be done by providing incentives or compensation, whether monetary or non-monetary, which serves as a moral booster to the subordinate. Motivation is also helpful for the subordinate to give the best of their ability, which ultimately helps in growth. It provides stability. Stability and balance in concern become very important for long-run survival in the market. This can be brought upon by the managers with the help of 4 tools or elements of directing function. Judicious blend of persuasive leadership, effective communication, strict supervision and efficient motivation. Stability is very important since that it is an index of growth of an enterprise. Therefore, a manager can use all the 4 traits in him so that performance standards can be maintained. Coping with the changes. It is a human behavior that human beings shows resistance to change. Adaptability with changing environment helps in sustaining planned growth and becoming a market leader. It is directing function which is used to meet the changes in the environment, both internal and external. Effective communication helps in coping with the changes. It is the role of manager here to communicate the nature and contents of changes very clearly to the subordinates. This helps in clarifications, easy adoptions and smooth running of an enterprise. Efficient utilization of resources. Direction function helps in clarifying the role of every subordinate towards his work. The resources can be utilized properly only when less wastage, duplication of effort, overlapping of performance, etc. can be noted. Through direction, the role of subordinate becomes clear as manager makes use of his supervisory, the guidance, the instruction and motivation skill to inspire the subordinate. This helps in maximum possible utilization of resources of man, machine, material and money, which helps in reducing cost and increasing profit. The various principles of directing functions are maximum individual contribution, harmony of objective, unity of command, appropriateness of direction techniques, managerial communication, use of informal organization, leadership and inspiration, follow through by proper action. Now, what are the various elements of directing function? The main elements of directing functions are supervision, motivation, leadership and communication. Let's see one by one. First one, the supervising. What is supervision? Supervisor has got an important role to play in factory management. Supervision means overseeing the subordinate at work at the factory level. The supervisor is a part of management team and he holds the designation of first line managers. He is a person who has to perform many functions which helps in achieving productivity. Therefore, supervisor can be called as only manager who has an important role at execution level. Role of supervisor: as a planner, as a manager, as a guidance leader, as a mediator, as an inspector and as a counselor. Let's see one by one. As a planner, a supervisor has to plan the daily work schedule in the factory. At the same time, he has to divide the work to various workers according to their ability. As a manager, it is rightly said that a supervisor is a part of the management team of an enterprise. He is, in fact, an operative manager. As a guidance leader, a factory supervisor leads the workers by guiding them the way of perform their daily task. In fact, he plays a role of an inspire by telling them. As a mediator, a supervisor is called a linking pin between management and workers. He is the spokesperson of management as well as the workers. As an inspector, an important role of supervisor is to enforce discipline in the factory. For this, the work includes checking progress of work against the time schedule, recording the work performance at regular intervals and reporting the deviation, if any, from those. He can also frame rules and regulations which have to be followed by workers during their work. As a counselor, a supervisor plays the role of a counselor to the worker's problem. He has to perform this role in order to build good relations and cooperation from workers. This can be done not only by listening to the grievance but also handling the grievance and satisfying the workers. The second important function, motivation. Motivation means incitement or inducement to act or move. It means the process of making subordinate to act in a desired manner to achieve certain organizational goals. Three terms are interrelated in motivational process. They are motive, motivation and motivators. Features of motivation. First point, motivation is an internal feeling. Second one, motivation produces goal-directed behavior. Third one, motivation can be either positive or negative. The last one, motivation is a complex process as the individual are heterogeneous in their perceptions and reactions. Importance of motivation. The various importance were it helps to improve performance level of employees as well as organization. Motivation reduces employees turnover and save cost of new recruitment and training. It helps to change the attitude of employee from negative to positive. It implements changes smoothly without much resistance from workers. Now, one important theory is associated with our motivation topic, that is Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Abraham Maslow, a psychologist, in a classic paper published in 1943, outlined the elements of an overall theory of motivation. It was the fundamental theory of motivation. It is based on human needs. According to him, in every human being there exists a hierarchy of needs. They are: number one, basic psychological needs. It is the primary need of human being. Hunger, thirst, shelter, sleep and sex are some examples. Safety and security needs. It provides protection from physical and emotional harm. Example, job security, stability of income, pension plan, etc. Affiliation needs. These needs refer to affection, sense of belongingness, acceptance and friendship. Esteem needs. These include factors such as self-respect, autonomy, status, recognition, etc. Fifth one, self-actualization need. It refers to the drive to become what one is capable of becoming. These needs include growth, self-fulfillment and achievement of goals. The various assumptions of Maslow's theories were: A. People behavior is based on their needs. Second one, human beings' needs are hierarchical in order. Third one, a satisfied need can no longer motivate a person. Last one, only lower need is satisfied, then think about higher needs. Financial and non-financial incentives. Financial incentives refer to incentives which are in direct monetary form and motivate people for better performance. This list includes pay and allowances, profit sharing, bonus, productivity linked wage incentive, co-partnership, retirement benefits and perquisites. Non-financial incentives. All needs of individuals are not satisfied by money alone. Psychological, social, emotional factors are also important role in providing motivation. So the various non-financial incentives were status, organizational climate, career advancement opportunity, job enrichment, employee recognition program, job security, employees participation and empowerment activity. The third element of directing, leadership. Leadership is the activity of influencing people to strive willingly for group objectives. It indicates the ability of an individual to maintain good interpersonal relations with followers and motivate them to contribute for achieving institutional objectives. The leaders always play a key role for the success and excellence of any organization. features and importance of leadership. Leadership indicates ability of an individual to influence others. Next, leadership tries to bring changes in the behavior of others. Next, it is a continuous process. Next one, leader play a key role in introducing required changes in the institution. The last one, a leader handles conflict effectively and does not allow adverse effect resulting from the conflict. Qualities of a good leader. The important qualities of a great leader will be physical features, example, height, weight, health, appearance, etc. Knowledge, proper education and competence required. Integrity, high level of honesty and be a role model. Communication skill, leader should be a good communicator. Self-confidence, maintain high level of confidence among subordinates. Social skills, a friendly manner towards his colleagues and followers. Leadership styles, mainly three types of leadership styles were followed. A. Autocratic leader. Here leader gives orders and expects his subordinate to obey these orders. This leader is dogmatic. Democratic leaders. The leader develops action plan and makes decision in consultation with his subordinates. Here leader respect and consider subordinate views. This kind of leadership is most common nowadays. Laissez-faire leader. The followers are given a high degree of independence and to formulate their own objectives and way to achieve them. Under this style, full freedom given to workers to think and perform. Communication. The last one, but not the least important function of directing function is communication. It is derived from the Latin word communis, which means common, which consequently implies common understanding. According to management expert Rogers, the definition of communication were: communication is a process by which people create and share information with one another in order to reach a common understanding. The various elements of communication processes were: sender, the person who conveys his thoughts and ideas to the receiver. Message, it is the content of idea, feeling, suggestions or order, etc. intended to be communicated. Encoding, converting messages into communication symbols such as words, pictures, gestures, etc. Media, it is the path through which encoded message is transmitted to receiver. Decoding, it is the process of converting encoded symbols of the sender. Receiver, the person who receives communication of the sender. Feedback, checking whether communication process currently executed or not. Noise, it means some obstruction or hindrance to communication. Some examples of noises were ambiguous symbols, poor network connectivity, and inattentive receiver, prejudice, and faulty decoding as well as technical jargon. Importance of communication. The communication importance can be judged as: act as a basis of communication, helps in smooth working of the enterprise, act as basis of decision making, promote cooperation and industrial peace, establish effective leadership, boost morale and provide motivation, increase managerial efficiency. Types of communication. Formal communication, when the communication flow through official channels designed by top level person between superior and subordinate, it will be known as formal communication. Different types of communication network may operate in formal organization. Some of them are: single chain, network exists between a superior to subordinate. Wheel, superior act as the hub of this network process. Circular, each person can communicate with his joining two persons. Free flow. Each person can communicate with others freely. Inverted V structure. Communication allows with his immediate superior as well as his superior. Informal communication. Communication that takes place without following the formal lines of communication. Informal system of communication is generally referred to as grapevine because it spreads through the organization with its branches going out in all directions in utter disregard to the level of authority. Four categories of grapevine networks are there. They were single strand network, gossip network, probability network, and cluster network. Barriers to communication. Communication breakdowns may happen several times in the communication process. These barriers affect its execution process negatively. Some of such barriers were enlisted below. Semantic barriers. It arises due to linguistic dealings with the meaning of the words and sentences. Examples: badly expressed message. Another one, symbols with different meaning. Another one, faulty translations. Another one, unclarified assumptions. Another one, technical jargons. Another one, body language and gesture decoding. Psychological barriers. Emotional factors affects communication process adversely. Example: a worried person, an angry receiver, etc. Common psychological barriers. Examples were premature evaluation. Another one, distress. Another one, loss by transmission and poor retention. The last one, lack of attention. Organizational barriers. It is related to organizational structure, authority relationship, rules and regulation, status, complexity and organizational facilities, etc. Personal barriers. Purely personal issues creating communication process difficult. Example: fear of challenge to authority, unwillingness to communicate, lack of confidence, lack of proper incentives are some of the examples of personal barriers. Now, how to improve the communication process? The various measures adopted to improve our communication effectively were: first one, clarify the ideas before communication. Number two, consult others before communicating. Number third one, be aware of language, tone and content of message. Fourth one, communicate according to the need of the receiver. Fifth one, convey things of help and value to listeners. Sixth one, ensure proper feedback. Seventh one, communicate the present as well as future information. Eighth one, follow up communications. And the last one, the ninth one, be a good listener. These are the various aspects related to our topic directing. Thank you.